Hello everyone, Teen Dose Alliance 671 coming at you with a deck tutorial for the Arcana Knights. I'm going to follow up from my previous deck profile and show you guys a few combos and a few test hands. But as always, before I get started with the deck tutorial, I normally do a deck profile, a brief one to show you guys what's in the deck. If you want to learn more about the cards in detail, then I highly recommend checking out the deck profile first, before this one. So if you checked it out already, or if you have a good idea of the deck, then be free to stick around. So without further ado, let's get started. As always, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell and be part of the notification squad. So let's get straight into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of King's Knight, the original 3, 3 copies of Queen's Knight. The one we run 2 copies of is of course Jack's Knight. And of course, the new kid in the block, 2 copies of Joker's Knight. So these are your knights, if you will. So for the support lineup, we also run 1 copy of Imperial Bower, 1 copy of Arcana Triumph Joker, and then that'll be it for the warrior lineup. And then I present to you the Egyptian gods, Slifer the Sky Dragon, as well as Obelisk the Tormentor, the Winged Dragon of Ra, and the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode, which is very searchable in here. These are the 2 structure deck ones. This is the Ultra Rare Ra, and honestly, they look great in Ultra Rare. The pictures are slightly bigger, if you notice, compared to the Golden Secret Rares I was using, and the wording is much more clear. Like, they're easier to understand. So, all 3 god cards for this version of the deck. We now run 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. It is a very efficient card. I really enjoy it. It does cut off the damage you do to the opponent by half, but that's perfectly fine. Even though you won't be able to OTK the turn you use this effect, you can always just go on the grind game with this deck, and this deck is very good at the grind game, if you will. Anyways, you always have the option of not activating this if you already have a chance to OTK. I'll show you how to OTK in this deck in a little bit, but let's continue with the brief deck profile. 3 copies of Joker Strength, 2 copies of Thunder Speed Summon, 2 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust, a fine addition to the deck, and highly plausible you could activate it, seeing that the opponent's always activating cards on your opponent's, or always activate monster effects, that is, during your turn. 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This one's slightly higher with the requirements because the opponent has to activate a monster effect during the main phase. During your main phase, that is. So this one, you gotta be a little bit more careful, but once you resolve it, it works wonders. Now 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. I was hesitant using this, but now I think about it, we're playing so much board wipes, and the cards you are going to potentially send with this one from your field and hand, you can recover them anyways because of the Joker's cards. So 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, because why not go Dark Sidious on the opponent and either wipe out their back row or their attack mode monsters. 1 copy of Lightning, Harpy's Feather Duster, because why not? It's Harpy's Feather Duster. And then the OTK piece as well, 1 copy of Double or Nothing, excellent card. Then 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, because this is a warrior deck. Search your King's Knight, or your Imperial Bower, or even your Queen's Knight if necessary. Unfortunately, you cannot search for Jack or Joker, but that's perfectly fine. 1 copy of... Sorry, let me go and organize this a little bit better. There you go. 1 copy of Unexpected Die to bust out the Queen from the deck. And then 1 copy of Soul Crossing. because we run God cards in here and they are searchable, so more than likely you'll be able to resolve this. And then 1 copy of Call by the Grave. Just because you want to deal with the Ash Blossom and some other cards that might interfere with your OTK, this comes in clutch. Maybe one day we'll get that at least at 2, but for now, we could work with 1. Okay, so that'll be it for the spells. For the traps, now we're only playing 3. 3 copies of Joker's Wild, and that's about it. We were playing on King's Court before, or yeah, the King's Court, but I found that it's not really necessary for this version of the deck. Maybe for a full power Slifer Arcana Night build where you just play Slifer slowly. And I might work on that in the future, but for now I like this OTK version. So that'll be it for the main deck. For the extra deck, 1 copy of Arcane Extra Joker, 1 copy of Midnight Unicorn, you know why, 1 copy of IP Masquerena for obvious reasons, 1 copy of Access Code, and 1 copy of Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess is a pretty high climb, but I'll show you how you could do it in this deck. 1 copy of Link Spider, because we have Queen's Knight and Jack's Knight to use for the summon of it, and you can also have 1 target. You also have 1 target for him, which is Queen's Knight. Anyways, to continue, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller for certain matchups where they heavily use the graveyard. 1 copy of Baguska, because sometimes they have really badass synchro monsters, and you could just switch them to defense mode and negate their effects, as well as fusion monsters, so Baguska comes in clutch. 1 copy of Excalibur, because he's a light warrior in case you activate Joker Street. You'll see why I mean in a little bit. And then to continue with the extra deck, let me go and set these aside really quick. 1 copy of Utopia Double for the OTK piece, and then 2 copies of number 39 Utopia. So we could add on to the Utopia utility, as well as Utopia the Lightning, which comes in clutch so much. And 1 copy of Constellar Pleiades to add to the Light Warrior lineup. And last but certainly not least is Zeus, Sky Thunder. Unfortunately, if you activate Joker Street, you won't be able to summon this, but if you don't activate Joker Street and you just go into an Exceed monster, this comes up a lot. You'll see what I mean during the tutorial. The extra deck. The side deck, I'm just going to go through it really quick for you guys. So that'll be 2 copies of Nibiru, 3 copies of Ghost Sister for the clutch duels, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, because why not, 2 copies of Rigeki, because Kashtira putting their monsters in defense mode is a thing, so just be ready for that. Exchange of Heart for the same matchup, Kashtira. 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, because it just comes in clutch, especially against Runix. And last but not least, Infinite Impermanence, because sometimes you just need that extra negate to deal with Kashtira. Forbidden Droplet doesn't work on a Rise Heart, so we slide into the Impermanence just in case we go into that scenario. But they do have Forbidden Lance though, so you just gotta be careful what you do against them. But Rigeki and Impermanence is a good choice nonetheless. Okay, so that'll be it for the brief tech profile. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into the deck tutorial. So let's go ahead and do a power shuffle while we're talking about it. I do appreciate your all's patience, and thank you for waiting. I am currently on vacation, so I have plenty of time to do these deck profiles for you guys, and I'm more than happy to. And I know I keep telling everyone that I'm gonna eventually do updates for this channel and provide deck lists in the bottom of the video, and I'll be doing that shortly now that I have more than enough time. All I ask is for a little bit more time to do my homework, guys, that I assigned myself, and you guys are anticipating for me to finish, so no worries, guys. I'll go ahead and continue improving this channel, and I'll eventually, I'll eventually get it done. So for the first combo I'm going to show you guys, let's say we draw Joker straight and Thunder Speed Summon. So the combo really just starts with these cards, but we'll go ahead and throw in a few other cards just in case. Let's say we drew into the Triple Tactics, yeah, as well as the maybe Forbidden Droplet and Lightning Storm. Okay, so let's say that's one of our opening hands. Then we draw another Joker straight, which is not bad. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and activate. So standby main will activate Lightning Storm to bait out some stuff. And if they chain like monster effects or spells and traps, yada, mainly monster effects, you could just chain Forbidden Droplet and then send this to the graveyard. You can even send another Joker straight from your hand to the graveyard, seeing that you already drew one. But if that's enough to pull it off, then that's won't. If just sending Lightning Storm on the field is enough to pull it off, then that won't be necessary. Anyways, we need a card to discard, so just an example of how I could chain Forbidden Droplet in here. Then next part of the combo, if they activate a monster effect, you could activate Triple Tactics Thrust. And you could search for another spell card to help pave the way for your knights. So we could search for Hoppy's Feather Duster, and if they have a monster on the field still, you could add to your hand instead. Harpy's Feather Duster. Clear the back row, and now the way is clear for your knights. So we're going to activate Joker Straight, which will special summon Queen's Knight from the deck. And listen carefully. This adds King's Knight. Part of the effect is to add King's Knight from your deck to your hand. And then also part of this effect is that you can normal summon King's Knight. So normal summon by effect. By effect King's Knight, which will allow you to special summon Jack's Knight because King's Knight was properly normal summoned by an effect from the deck. So from here, if they have no more monsters, you could go ahead and enter battle phase, swing of King's Knight. I would say smallest to tallest, or shortest to tallest, so attack of Queen, attack of King, and then attack of Jack. Then you could go Thunder Speed Summon, search your deck. You can either search for Slide for the Sky Dragon. So your main targets for Thunder Speed Summon is your main targets for Thunder Speed Summon is Slide for the Sky Dragon, the Winged Dragon of Ra, and the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. If Slifer is strong enough, you could go into Slifer, tribute all three to summon Slifer during the battle phase, and attack directly. Or if maybe you don't have enough cards in your hand, which is understandable, you could, let me rewind a little bit, chain Thunder Speed Summon, search for the Winged Dragon of Ra during the battle phase. So just remember that you could you could activate this during the main phase or battle phase. And then immediately after, tribute summon for the Winged Dragon of Ra. Cannot change to the summon, cannot change to the effect. So Ra is going to get pumped up, and then you attack directly for game. Sure, you pay life points here until you're at 100, but if you already have the chance to end the game, then you're good. You just gotta watch out for the monster effects that might float. Okay, so that is one part of the combo that I'm gonna show you guys. Let's go ahead and do another test hand. So let's say the opponent is gonna be smart and let you go first, and then from there you could go ahead and carry on if you're going first place. There are some going first place in this deck. So you'll probably have Joker's Wild, and the other combo piece for the deck is, for this combo that is Thunder Speed Summon. So I'll show you the combo that you guys are going to do with Thunder Speed Summon and Joker's Wild. Let's say you have a Pot of Prosperity, and let's say you drew into Call by the Grave, and maybe into Oh, let's see. What else could we potentially draw into? Let's say you draw into King's Knight. But that's okay. So, if you draw into a King's Knight, that's perfectly fine. So, what we are mainly going to do is we're going to just set these two. And since this is our first turn, we could do Pod Prosperity, and then we have Call By just in case. So we pay our cost. You normally want to banish the ones you're not going to go into right away, like maybe not the Light Warriors. So I normally banish Nightmare Unicorn, Massacre and Access Code, Underworld, Link Spider, as well as Abyss Dweller, because we hardly go into those. It's only when it's absolutely necessary. And we still keep the Baguska and Utopias and everyone else. So banish these 6, and we'll see what we get out of curiosity. If we have enough time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. So we could grab Triple Tactics Thrust, because we're just setting it. So if we didn't draw the Joker's Wild, it's okay. They already tried to activate a monster effect to negate our prosperity, so we could just add the Triple Tactics talent. But for now, just guess for the sake of playing, we'll go ahead and grab Triple Tactics Thrust. Why not? I mean, you never know if they might negate it, right? So Triple Tactics Thrust. So if you're going first, that's perfectly fine. Just to show you, case you guys like what one of the scenarios you would do if the opponent's having you go first. Sorry about the glare. Let's just set another Joker's Wild just for the heck of it. So the graveyard is here. Okay, so you already activate Call by the Grave. So you say to the opponent, your turn. And then from there, during their main phase, you could go ahead and activate Joker's Wild. So cost is to send any spell card that mentions the 3, King, Queen, or Jack's Knight. So we're going to send Joker straight during their main phase. We discard as part of the effect. Special summon Queen's Knight. Then add to our hand King's Knight as part of the effect of Joker straight. So Joker's Wild sends Joker straight to the graveyard and copies the effect. So we're going to follow through with Joker straight's effect. You already discard as part of the effect, so special summon Queen's Knight, add to my hand King's Knight, and then part of the effect is that it can normal summon King's Knight by an effect. Sorry, I'm just going to address that. It is normal summon by an effect through the same card effect that is Joker straight. So separate chain. King's Knight is going to trigger in a separate chain. Mandatory effect. Since it is effect on summon. Special summon Jack's Knight. Oh, it does say you can, but since you're turn player, you have priority. So, yes. And this is an ignition effect, as Miguel has mentioned to me. Oh, I hope you don't mind me mentioning your name, sir. Thank you for the card advice. Okay, he's a great guy, honestly. I'll introduce you guys one day if he's okay with that. So anyways, you say to your opponent, your turn, or you may continue, because it's their main phase. So if they just so happen to, play through their gameplay and they summon 3 monsters, you could flip Thunder Speed Summon, boom. And then you search for the Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode, but do you know what Sphere Mode says? You can normal summon this card on the opponent's field by attributing 3 of their monsters. So if they just so happen to summon 3 monsters during their turn, during the main phase, you could summon Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode on their side of the field. Here, let me give you a visual. So it summons on their side of the field. But the only downside to this combo is that you won't get Raw back until the end of your turn, because it says the next turn, because he summoned during the opponent's turn. So that's one way of doing it. Or rewind a little bit and get Sphere Mode back. Or let's put Sphere Mode back for now, and let's see. Let's say we activate Thunder Speed Summon again, but this time we search for Slide for the Sky Dragon. like that. And then you could tribute all 3 for the Egyptian god Slifer the Sky Dragon. Okay, so that's just a scenario. That way you can use his ability when they summon a monster in attack mode to destroy their monsters. So if you know they are playing a deck that summons monsters in attack mode that are smaller than 2000, Slifer is their worst nightmare, really. I know a lot of Flandries players that fear Slifer for that ability. But it's okay, I know there are ways around it, but it is a force. Slifer is a force to be reckoned with, regardless. So that's another combo I want to show you guys. Here's combo number 3. I'm going to show you guys a combination of Joker Straight. And yeah, that's about it. Just Joker Straight. So let's throw in a few board clears just in case, because you never know what you might run into. And then we could just throw in a Arcana Triumph Joker just for the heck of it. You could summon her in here. I could show you guys how you do it. So that's your opening hand. We draw. Oh, we drew a King's Knight again. He loves to be in the hand. It's okay. That's actually a perfect time for me to draw him. So I could show you another scenario. So Lightning Storm to bait out some effects. And of course you could follow up a Forbidden Droplet to negate those effects. So let's say you chose attack mode monsters and then you wipe out those monsters. But let's just say we set spells and traps for the heck of it, because maybe you want those monsters on the field. So Forbidden Droplets, we'll say monsters, we'll say monsters, we'll say spells and traps for Lightning Storm, we'll even send the King's Knife for the effect of Forbidden Droplet and send those 2. Negate like 2 of their monsters, probably. And since they attempted to activate monster effect but you negated it, you can activate Triple Tactics Talent. And then you could search for a normal spell that could potentially help you. So let's just say Triple Tactics. You could take their monster. You could do that, yes. So let's just say we did that and take their monster. A probable monster that could potentially stop this combo. So Joker Straight. We'll go ahead and discard Arcana Triumph Joker. Oh, and that combo I showed you earlier with Thunder Speed Summon, you can also use it in normal summon Arcana Triumph Joker. But that's okay, you don't necessarily have to do that. It's just an option. Also, with Thunder Speed Summon, I will point out, normal summoning is an option for the last effect. You can immediately normal summon into a god card if you want, or you could just hold off and add Sphere Mode, and then you could summon Sphere Mode and then summon the Winged Dragon Raw through that effect. But for now, let's go ahead and follow through with this gameplay. So we're going to activate the Thunder Speed Summon Joker Straight, and then we're going to special summon, keep this here, special summon Queen's Knight, then add to our hand King's Knight. Then part of the effect is that we can normal summon King's Knight by an effect. Triggering King's Knight, special summon Jack's Knight from the deck. Ta-da! And then another way you could summon Arcana Triumph Joker is to send all 3 to the graveyard. To special summon her from the hand, she's pretty much a board wipe. Say for example you discard a monster, you can wipe out all face-up monsters the opponent controls. You discard a spell card, you could wipe out all spell cards the opponent controls that are face-up. And it doesn't have to go to the graveyard. So if they have a Kashtira Rise Heart, you could just summon this one and then discard a monster and destroy their Rise Heart. So that's another way you could do it. But the main combo I want to show you guys with these is, the rank 4 players are going to go into. I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that. My apologies. So we're going to overlay into Utopia Double, and the chickens are singing their opera today. I do apologize for that. Anyways, detach one exceed material. This allows you to, this is a quick effect for Utopia Double, allowing you to search for double or nothing. and then you immediately overlay into Utopia monster as part of the effect, and that monster's attack points is doubled. So you go into number 39 Utopia. So the opponent probably has a monster that's weakened by Forbidden Droplet, as well as their effects being negated because you played that earlier. So you attack with Utopia during the battle phase, and you negate his attack. You chain double or nothing, and then you target this one, and he could attack again. You swing, and then his attack points is 10,000. And since you use Forbidden Droplet, the monster's attack points is probably cut in half, so this is more than enough to finish the duel. And then you could follow up with Jack's Knight. And this is only 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 summons, so they could Nibiru, but if they don't have it, then it's game. So you're good on that. I mean, if you even want to play even smarter, you could just not use the effect of King's Knight, and then just do Utopia double, then you number 39 Utopia, and that's only 4 summons if you want to avoid Nibiru. So you're good on that part. So let me go back on the combo that I mentioned earlier. So let's just say you did Joker straight, and you discarded, and then you special summon Queen, add to your hand King, and then immediately normal summon part of the effect, and then you activate King's effect, special summon Jack. So let's go back to that Thunder Speed summon. So what happens is that you could activate this, and you could search for the Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere mode, and normal summoning isn't in. You do have the option of normal summoning right away, right after you added this, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So you could just leave it like that, and you could just conduct your regular normal summon into the Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere mode. And then Sphere mode's effect, you could tribute its cost. Special summon the Winged Dragon of Raw from your hand or deck, ignoring the summoning conditions, and his base attack becomes 4,000. So if they try to infinite permanence this, it won't work because it was inherited through the Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere mode's effect. And then you could capitalize on Raw's shooting power, your Raw's destruction ability, paying 1,000 life points to destroy one monster on the field. Unfortunately, because he was special summoned, you cannot pump up Raw until you're at pay life points until you're at 100, pump up Raw because he was special summoned. But that's perfectly fine. 4,000 base attack is more than enough. So just remember that if you're summoning Raw through Sphere mode. Its base attack is 4,000 and you was special summon, but you should be fine. Okay, so we're kind of getting crunched in time. So the last combo I'm going to show you is with Imperial Bower. This is where we're going to go into our generic play. So let's just say you drew this one. So standby main phase, you tribute this as cost. You special summon Queen's Knight from the deck, as well as King's Knight. You could also add these guys to your hand or even summon Jack instead. But we summon these two because they'll set up our rank 4 plays. So another way you could do it is you could overlay into number 41 Baguska. You could summon him in attack mode, attack the opponent because he can't be targeted or destroyed while he's in attack mode. And then you could go into Zeus, and then you blow up the field. Or you could just park him there in defense mode. And then you could follow up with Joker straight and special summon the King, Queen, and Jack. However you want to do it. You can even just go for Abyss Dweller to shut down the graveyard effects, and then go into Joker straight to do all that pizzazz. But yeah, you should be good to go with that one. The only problem with activating Joker straight while Baguska is on the field is that you won't be able to resolve the King's Knight effect, but you should be fine. And then last one before we run out of time is how do you bring out Underworld Goddess. So I'm just going to show you the monster combo in general. So the way you do it is if you drew Joker's Knight, as well as having King's Knight in your hand. And let's say reinforcement of the army. Let's see. a reinforcement of the army, as well as triple tactics, Harpy's Feather Duster. We'll just bring out a few that could potentially be used. Let's go and bring out Unexpected Die as well. So we draw. We drew the Joker straight, but let me show you guys how you go into Underworld Goddess or your rank 4s. So you can activate Reinforcement of the Army. You already drew the King's Knight, so you could probably search for Queen's Knight. I'll show you why in a little bit. So we could activate Unexpected Die, and if they ash this, that's fine. You have your Joker straight anyways, but let me just show you guys a scenario. So you could go into Unexpected Die, bring out Queen's Knight. And since she was special summoned through Unexpected Die, you could normal summon King's Knight the hard way, which will allow you to summon Jack's Knight from the deck. Just like that. Following that, let's just say you summon him like this, just for the sake of the tutorial. So that way that frees up your zone for Link Spider, and then you can use Link Spider's effect to special summon Queen's Knight, just like that. And then you Link summon these two into IP Masquerena. Hey, Masquerena. Hi. I'm just kidding. Okay. Activate Joker's Knight. So the cost is to send one of the three to the graveyard. Let's just send King's Knight, just for the heck of it. Special summon. And there you go. You have 4 effect monsters on the field, thanks to the combination of Link Spider and IP Masquerena. And bada beam, bada boom. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's actually already Underworld Goddess, now that I think about it. But you can also use the opponent's monster, just in case. So this will go into Underworld Goddess. So that's how you mainly bring out Underworld Goddess in this deck. And you can also go into your other rank 4 plays, like okay, let me bring them out again really quick. So you could go into your other rank 4 plays, like let's see, Unicorn, and you can even go into Access Code, and then you have like 2 beaters. And even though you didn't draw the Joker's Knight, you still have this combination with Masquerena, King's Knight, and Link Spider. So you could just go into Link 4 and use the opponent's monster into Underworld Goddess. So there's so many combinations with this deck, and there's surprisingly so many ways of building this deck. As long as you guys remember that this is not the only version of the deck. There are so many versions of this deck. There's the pure version, there's the Slifer only version, but this version does play all 3 and is all 3 god cards in this an OTK deck. And I was heavily inspired by Master Duel replay that I saw, so I thought I'd try this out as well. So as always, thank you so much guys. Sorry if it's a bit long. So as always, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, be a part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later guys, and FYI, I got a new mat. I hope you like it, the Pharaoh. So anyways guys, thank you so much for all your support, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later guys.